I mean, just to start, 70. You won the second half, 70-43. Defensive, obviously, numbers were off the charts. You won the rebounding battle. I mean, just where do you start with what all you liked with how things went in the second half?
Well, the practice time over the last 2 weeks has helped us a lot. Practice time yesterday was very good. We got a lot of things done, and we just keep working at it. It has to become a mindset, and we're doing some things offensively that are enhancing our defense. Like we gave up no points off turnovers in the second half today, and that helps your defense a lot. So we're doing some good things, and you get on a little bit of a roll like this, you want to try to keep it going, and it's hard. These games are all hard. We were fortunate here. I mean, this is a nightmare scenario for Sacramento. I mean, third game in 4 days, and they're playing a team that's been resting for 2 days. So, but everybody's gone through these stretches.
Ben Sheppard, we talked a lot about just the guys that were out and how much they changed the way that you guys play. Ben Sheppard comes in and he's 5 of 5 from the floor, 4 of 4 from 3. Obviously, some huge shots in there. Just how great has it been just to have him back, and how does he make a lot of other things kind of fit into place on both ends?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a very consistent, reliable system player that knows his job, embraces his job, and loves being part of a team.
Just what'd you like on the glass, especially in the second half? That obviously kind of was a key piece
I didn't see the numbers. I guess we were +3 for the game. That's great. Look, Sabonis is impossible. I mean, they got 21 boards. I mean, but Thomas Bryant gave us some nice help off the bench. We were rebounding with 5 guys. There was one play, either late third or early fourth, where Mathurin went up over Sabonis and got a defensive rebound. That was a breathtaking play and a very big play at that moment. It was still a 10 or 11, 12-point game or 9, whatever it was. And that ignited a break, and I think we scored. So, having everybody involved in the rebounding is key. In today's game, with all these missiles being launched from everywhere, these long rebounds, they bounce out to 27, 28 feet all the time. And, the perimeter guys got to be involved.
You mentioned just Sabonis being impossible, but I mean, he's 8 of 22. Myles looked like he obviously fought him from the beginning to the end, as long as those two guys were in the game. Just what did you like about Myles specifically on the defensive end?
Yeah, look, Myles has experience with Domas because those guys played together and against each other in practice and training camps many years, and he just knows how hard it is, and it's just a lot of it is just body position stuff. And you get one stop, and he goes up off the glass and gets another rebound. And then if you to stop him again, he'll go like he probably got. There was a couple times he got 2 or 3 of his own rebounds. So, but he's relentless. He's a beast. That's why he's so respected throughout the league. But Myles did a very good job, and Myles also had a very efficient offensive night and very timely shots and baskets.
And just last one, Pascal obviously was, I think, 2 of 9 in the first. I think he made his first 4 or 5 shots in the second half. It seemed kind of a go-to option at that point. Goes for 19 and 10 again after the night he had another night against Phoenix. Again, he's been probably your most consistent player this year, but just how impressive was what he did.
He's just he's been so good. He plays with the starters. He plays with the second unit. And he really melds well with both of those groups. And so, we get stuck in some situations late clock. He's a guy that can bail us out with creativity. He did it a couple times tonight, late clock. And, he can do anything offensively. He scores around the basket. He scores mid-range. He scores, from 3, and he drives it and he handles in transition. So, he's obviously super valuable to us.
Coach Carlisle, T.J. McConnell, I know he's ranked up pretty high, field goal percentage. But out of these 35 assists, he had 10 of them coming off the bench in 22 minutes to go along with his 12 points. How important was that? He's basically been doing that all season.
Yeah, he's another very reliable, dependable guy off the bench for us. He, Obi, and Shep last year in the playoffs were really good. I mean, they were really consistent. They played both ends very well. They complement each other. They complement when they're mixed with starters. And so tonight we needed TJ to play a few extra minutes because with the back-to-back, we didn't want to run Nembhard's minutes up too much. And fortunately, we were able to avoid putting him back in the fourth quarter. That's Nembhard, that is.
Hi, Rick. Big picture question for you. Considering, when you get to the conference finals, I think the only downside might be expectations go up, and then you all get off to the start that is maybe not what you were hoping for. How did the spirit of the group during that time hold together? Now you got 5 games of really good work, and then playing well enough that the road fans are booing, and it's a pretty dominant win. Just how have you assessed?
Well, we have great guys, and our guys have stuck together extremely well through the difficult times. The difficult times featured our young guys having to step into significantly greater levels of responsibility, and the schedule was very demanding, and it was tough. And so our veteran guys helped those guys. They nurtured them along. They were encouraging. They never got down on those guys, and those guys have gotten better. I'm talking about Mathurin. I'm talking about Walker. I'm talking about Furphy. Those guys. And look, we had Quentin Jackson who started on 4 or 5 games. And he's in Orlando playing in the showcase now. So. There's going to be rocky times in an NBA season, and you look around the league, and there's a lot of upheaval. There's a lot of teams that are struggling, and you see some finger pointing and things like that. And our guys haven't gone there, and we've just continued to talk about togetherness, a long season, and daily improvement. And but tomorrow, is another ridiculously difficult game, back to back against the rested Warriors team who's coming off of a great win last night in Minnesota. So there's no bargains here at all.
Just the other day, JJ Redick was in that chair talking about parity and the fact that teams like his, teams like yours, you could argue the Kings, one good winning streak and you're back where you'd like to be. Does that make the messaging easier for you to tell your guys, don't let go of the rope, don't let it get to you?
We don't look at standings. I really am not a believer in that. That's, the only thing that we control is what's happening with our group and our team. And look, your initial question about expectations from being in the conference finals, we're trying to win a championship. We're trying to develop a team for the long term, a sustainable operation that can have a long run in the playoffs and have a chance to win a championship. So there's nothing wrong with high expectations. What you don't want is a situation of apathy where expectations are low and all you're ever doing is selling hope. That's not why I came here, and that's why Kevin Pritchard's doing his job, and that's not what our ownership's about. So, the opportunities that our young guys have gotten have been very important. There's a lot of learning. These guys come into the league, out of one and done and AAU and all that stuff, and have no idea what it's like to be a professional and to be leaned on and to have a group of guys depending on you. Because that's not what most of that stuff is about. Now, the college coaches are great, but the AAU stuff, that's a different bag. So our guys have learned a lot. Our guys have matured. They've grown. I'm proud of them, but the work is nonstop.
Ty, 70-43 second half. Just what'd you like on both ends? A lot of stuff coming together there.
I think we're just locked in right now as a group. We're playing really good team basketball right now. We're connected on the defensive end. When we get stops, we can get out and run. And I think just off our chemistry that we've built over the last couple of years, we know how to play the right way, but we got to get stops to be able to get out in transition, play with advantages. I think we're doing a great job moving the ball. when you're getting stops like that, the energy is just right, and that's how it feels right now.
What's it mean that you're sustaining this? I mean, we've talked a lot about the practices and the value of them, but I mean, I think it's been a while since you guys won 4 in a row. I mean, I don't know when it even happened last year. What's it mean that you guys are building, and sustaining this, and you haven't had a drop off?
Law of averages. We lost a lot of games that we didn't really. If we played better, we should be winning those games. We feel like we dropped a few we should have won, but I think we're just a really connected group right now, and that's really helping us. And we're trying to build off that.
We talked about this a few times, just how much it meant that you were missing, Double A and Ben and Drew, and Shep obviously goes 5 of 5, 4 for 4. I mean, just how big of an impact has he already made just coming back in 2 games?
Yeah, it's obviously good to get Sheppy back, get Drew back. We're waiting to get Double A back, of course. I think like the more guys that we have healthy and ready to go, the more confidence we have in our group, and we've done the next man up, but now we got these guys coming back and chipping in, which has been really good for us.
How much do they just connect everything? I mean, just being able to just have pieces that maybe like just Shep running to the corner and being able to trust that three is going to be there. I mean, just the geometry.
Shep, Drew, and Double A, those are 3 guys who really know how to play the game the right way. Really 3 of our best on-ball defenders, so getting those guys back really helps our defense be more connected, helps our offense be more connected because who Shep and Double A are run to the corner and just doing the little selfless things that you don't necessarily see in the stat sheet really help us as a group. And then Drew, as another ball handler, is really helping as well. So it's really good to get guys back. And so we're waiting for Double A to get back, but we're just trying to play the right way.
What did it mean for you to get one here than one that you played in, basically, to get to Sacramento and win a game here?
Yeah, it just feels good to win here. Obviously, I wasn't part of the win we had here last year, so it's only really my second game that I've played since I haven't been here. But I think it's less about me and Sacramento than it is our group. We're now a game away from being 500. We've been floating there all year, so we're just trying to keep playing the right way. And I think everything else will take care of itself. This has been between the last 3-4 games you have and the next 5 we got coming up, these are tough games, so we'll take wins any way we can get them, just trying to play the right way.
I heard you talk about each of them, but I wanted to ask you about the Jarace's play, throwing it off the backboard and stealing your flow, as you said, and then James's driving dish. You're obviously losing it for both of those. How cool were both of those plays?
I just think the energy that we're playing with is really good. The energy that we had in practice was contagious yesterday, and I feel like we're doing a really good job of lifting each other up, and those guys that aren't necessarily playing as much are doing a great job of being great energy givers on the bench and talking, and where it's really connected 1 through 18, and then so for those guys to get on the floor and do what they do is really cool to see. They celebrate us, we celebrate them right back. Yeah, Walk took my whole flow, but it was cool to see, and then James been doing this for a long time, so cool to see, and just want to keep going.
You're hit 5, go 5 for 5, 4 from 3. Just what's it been like, just getting your rhythm back, basically, and kind of getting back into this thing, and what it mean just go out there and hit some shots in a time when you're just getting back to it?
I felt good out there. I'd say for the Phoenix game, my first game back, the game felt a little sped up for me, and felt like when I checked in today, I just came in more confident and just brought energy and did everything my team asked me to do. But it just definitely slowed down for me today.
Just what opened up for you in terms of getting some of those shots? Obviously, a couple clean looks there you're able to knock down. Just kind of what opened up on the offense for you to get some of those opportunities?
I say running in transition just as fast as I can, and defense always leads the offense. So just doing my thing on that side. Just taking my opportunities as they come. I'm not searching for anything, but just letting the game flow with me. So.
It's obviously a very simple thing, but Rick stresses that all the time, is run to the corners, basically, and just it seems like an obvious thing to do. But how much does it open things up? And when you're consistent about doing that every time, do you kind of see that it pays off?
It definitely pays off. The game is just so much more open when people get to the corners and we have correct spacing. But Coach stresses it so much because it means so much to our team and what we do and how we operate on the offensive side. So just keep listening to Coach, I guess.
70-43 second half. Just what did you guys like, especially on the defensive end, the way you guys were able to step up and kind of clamp down there?
Repeat that, sorry?
Yeah. You guys held them to 43 points in the second half, obviously under 100 for the game. Just what did you like about the way you guys sort of clamped down defensively? What stood out in terms of how you guys played them?
We competed. I think that's one of the higher intensity competing levels that we brought this year, and just happy about how this team continues to progress and just where the season's going. So.
come into a situation with a team like Sacramento that's struggling lately, how important was it to, you know, kind of use that negative momentum they have and use it positively for y'all?
I'd say as far as their side, they're a great team, great players, so we don't really think about records or anything like that. But we definitely needed this win. We're trying to get back to 500 and just keep on progressing. But Kings are a great team, and yeah, we just outfought them and played harder than them today. So,
Do you know? I mean, obviously, 43-point second half. Just what did you guys like about what you were able to do on both ends, but especially on the defensive end?
I think we're a more spirited group. I think now than we were to start the season. Now I think we're taking a lot more pride in our defense, and that's definitely sets up a lot of stuff for us. We get stops and get out and run and play our brand of basketball. And then when the ball's in Tyrese's hands, it makes things a lot easier for guys, especially out in transition. So I think we're starting to hang our hats more on the defensive side of things. It's going to help us out a lot more.
We keep talking about this, but bringing Drew and Shep back, I mean, how much of a difference are you already seeing with what those guys do? Shep, especially Shep goes 5 of 5, 4 of 4 from 3 today.
Yeah, man, their experience. I mean, you've seen. Oh, let's get over. I mean, they got the experience last year playing high-level basketball. So the fact that you know, they're able to come right back into it and you know, be themselves in our offense. I mean, it makes a world of difference for us. You know, you got guys like Shep who never stops moving. You know, puts a lot of pressure on defenses, and guys like Drew that break guys down and get downhill. So I mean, it's all part of our offense.
Obviously, you come here and you go up against a guy that you know pretty well in Domas. I mean, obviously, it goes for 17 and 20, but it was 8 of 22. So you obviously fought him there. I mean, what did you like about what you did in that matchup, specifically on the defensive end?
Yeah, man, he just, you know, the one thing is, I mean, we always battle, even going back to practices and whatnot. You know, he's a good player, so I know he's going to score. It's a matter of slowing him down, just being physical with him and try to make him, you know, just have to guard on the other end as well. So, yeah.
Go ahead.
If someone didn't watch the game and just watched the bench during the game, they would know that something's changed a little bit around here. What would you say about the vibe right now?
Man, I mean, honestly, our past couple practices have been really good, man. Just the energy, the spirit, the attention to detail, attitude towards what we're doing, and little things like that matters. You know, guys hanging out outside of, you know, the locker room, hanging out outside of, you know, our jobs, all that type of stuff is starting to happen more than I think it's happened in the past. So our spirit's up, and now we just got to continue to keep letting that carry over to the floor.
Even last year, it was hard for you guys to win 4 in a row. I mean, you guys had a lot of stretches where you won 2 or 3, and obviously you won a whole lot of games, got to the East Finals, but rarely did you kind of sustain this. I mean, how important is it to show sustained good play?
Yeah, we can't get too high. I think Pascal talks about it all the time. It's just like, you know, we win a couple games, we feel like we kind of start to get in our shell a little bit, start to get comfortable, but that, you know, can't be the case. You know, I think that we know what our schedule looks like, you know, coming up. You know, I know we got a lot of traveling, so we just got to keep taking care of the road.
So what did you see there? Basically, how did it come together?
I'm not gonna lie, it was all instincts. Like, I didn't plan on it. I think I stopped and then he jumped by, so I just threw it off the glass, and then TB's man helped, so just threw it to the big fella. I'm just glad he knocked it down. For real.
So how do you process that all at once? I mean, obviously tied into the same thing. But how do you piece all that together?
I mean, when hoopers get comfortable, I feel like instincts take over, and I feel like that's all it kind of was. It's not like I came into the game like, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw it off the glass myself. Like, it just kind of happened in the moment.
At what point do you realize you just did the same thing Ty did? I mean, was that something you're noticing?
Not until after the game, and then they were like, took my flow bar for bar, word for word. I was like, yeah, I probably did.
What's just coming together for this group right now? And obviously the practice is a big piece, but I mean, how much are you feeling you guys just building off practice to practice, game to game right now?
I feel like it's just vibes and energy for us. Like, everybody's up, everybody's happy for each other, nobody's sulking if they didn't score. I feel like we're becoming more of a connected group, and I feel like that goes a long way when we're trying to win games on the road.
How much does getting Drew back and getting Shep back piece all these things together and basically can connect this group?
Yeah, Drew, great two-way player, helps us a ton. Just like with the simple stuff, just moving the ball, getting open shots for each other, and then Shep does all the little things right every single night. You definitely know what you're going to get out of him. So just having those two key components back is big for us.